Hello guys, welcome to another episode, and today we're going to focus on the Apple logo. Now most people think that the Apple logo is just a simple Apple with a badge taken out of it. Well, it's not. It's a mathematical system of overlapping circles, a number of circles. And once you see how it's spelled, you'll never look it at the same way again. Let me show you. Now the Apple logo was designed by Rob Janoff in 1977, and his brief was simple. Make it friendly, approachable, and not intimidating. The bite was added so people wouldn't confuse it with a cherry, and with this one small detail, it had a massive impact. And the geometry behind it, the circle system, that came from Apple's obsession with perfection. Every curve, every proportion was intentional, and today we are going to build it. So you're going to open your design tool and create a new artboard 500 by 500 pixels. My artboard is already created. Next you're going to turn on our smart guides, and we're going to find it here in the view tab. So you basically select the view tab and you'll find the smart guides here. Mine is already selected, or you can also use the command U on your Mac or control U on Windows. Now this is going to help us align our circles perfectly. And next you're going to select our ellipse tool, or you can use the shortcut L, and then you're going to hold shift while dragging to draw a perfect circle like that. So basically one advantage of using the shift tool is that you're going to produce a perfect circle. Now we're going to draw several other circles that overlap to create the apple shape, and then use Boolean operations to cut them together. Now don't worry if you don't know what that means yet. I'll show you exactly as we go. So this is our main circle, and I'm going to need a black fill. So we're going to make two smaller circles, and one will overlap the main circle on the left and the other one will overlap the main circle on the right. And these two circles are going to define the lobes of the apple. Let me just show you what you will do. Selecting your ellipse tool or using the shortcut L, you'll hold the shift key and then drag a bit and draw one of the circles that will overlap the main circle on the left. So as you've seen, we've created some kind of bump, because remember that when you look at the Apple logo, it kind of has two bumps on one side and on the other side. So we're going to duplicate the same circle, and to do that you're just going to select the Alt key and then drag the other circle to the right. And so as you can see, we're having these two circles, and one is on the right and one is on the left. So next you're going to create a trough at the middle of these two circles. So basically when you look at the Apple logo, have a trough that's in the middle of these two circles, sort of like a hole. So to create the trough, we're going to use the shape builder tool, and to do that you'll select all three circles. So that's the two smaller circles in the main circle, and then you can use the shortcut Shift M or hover around this tab and select this tool here, and then we're going to the middle of these two circles. And for you to subtract this part that you're going to remove, you basically select Alt, so you can see the negative sign appearing there, and then you select that part. So as you can see, you removed this part of the main circle, and now we're remaining with these two lobes and the rest of the circle. So with that done, we're going to the next step, and that's creating another hole at the bottom of this main circle, and that's where I'm going to introduce our new concept, Boolean operations. So first we're going to use the ellipse tool to make another ellipse at the bottom. That's right here. You can use the shortcut L, and so with our ellipse selected, we're going to hold the shift key and create another perfect circle. So we're going to move this one a bit down here. Yes, and I think that's okay. In this application we have a number of Boolean operations, and the Boolean operations are mostly used for combining shapes, and that's what most professional designers use to create complex logos. So what you're going to do is to select this main circle and this lower circle over here. You can select both of them, and then looking around here at your Pathfinder tab, you realize we have four features. We have the unite feature, the font feature, the intersect feature, and the exclude feature. So what you're going to use is the minus font feature. So when I select this, you realize that the lower circle somehow disappears, right? And so with that, we're able to create a hole at the bottom using Boolean operations. It's not something complex, it's basically something that you can understand and learn and use it on your future projects. And so with that done, you realize that at the bottom here our edges are quite sharp and we have to smoothen them, but we'll do that later. Now notice that on the Apple logo there's usually a bite on this right side of the logo. It's not usually a full apple. This bite, if I may call it, is one of the most debated design decisions in history. Some people have been asking, was it stop people mistaking it for a cherry? Was it a pun, a bite? But Janov says that it was purely visual to make the scale readable. And whatever the reason is, it works, right? And that's what matters. So to create the bite on this right side, we're going to select our ellipse tool once again, and we're going to draw a circle on this right side of the apple. So with our shift key selected, it's basically dragging the circle, and so we're going to adjust the position it. Remember what we did at the bottom here, we're also going to replicate the same thing. So first we are going to unite these three shapes. So the two circles here and this main circle, forget about this one, two circles here, this one and this one, and the main circle. So to do that, you're going to select the three shapes, right? And we're going to our Pathfinder tab down here and click unite. Remember that we had minus one, now we're clicking unite. And so with that, you realize that the three circles have been united. And so next you're going to take this ellipse and select the main ellipse and the other ellipse, and we're going to now click the minus front. And with that, you find that some of the apple part has been taken out, right? And so we're having this hole down here, we're having the bite on the right side, we're having the trap on the top side. So as you've noticed on this left part here, the path is not continuous and it much doesn't look like a circle. And so to rectify this one, we're going to use the pen tool, use the shortcut P. So basically select it, then on the path select somewhere around there, and then you select somewhere around here, and then you make a curve. Okay, make a curve something like that, so that the path may be continuous. As you can see, it now looks like a circle, like an apple, and it's kind of taking shape. And so next you're going to rectify these edges down here, and we're going to work on rectifying this part here. And so let's first unite everything, becomes a complete shape. And so to rectify the sharp edges, we're going to use the direct selection tool. So you can either use the shortcut A or come to the direct selection, which is just next to the selection tool. So you can either basically also select A, so it will direct you just here. And so next you're going to select these two parts, and as you can see, they are sort of these two circles. There's one on the left side and one on the right side. And so for you to just smoothen the edges, you're going to select it and drag. As you can see, we're having the edges smoothened, right? And we're going to do the same on top here. We're going to select that, and with this small circle, just select it and drag it upwards. and you can see that we have these two edges smoothened and this part smoothened. So guys, we are almost done with our logo. Just remaining just some little features. So the last feature that's remaining is called the leaf. So the leaf sits at the top right of the apple, and here's where most beginners get it wrong. So what you're going to do is we're going to draw two small circles at the top around here. So with our ellipse tool selected and shift key pressed, just going to draw one small circle. Let me put it around here, and we're going to duplicate it. So as we did earlier, we're going to select the Alt key, then drag it somewhere around there. And so as you can see, we're having these two circles, and in the middle here we have an intersection. And I'm going to introduce you guys to another feature of the Boolean operation. It's called the intersect operation. Now the intersect operation gives you only the overlapping area of two shapes, and this is how you mostly build crescent moons, eye shapes, any pointed oval form, right? It's a tool that we're going to use it constantly. So we're going to select the two shapes, and we're going to the path in the tab, and here we have our intersect. So we're going to basically just select it, and then we are left with sort of a diamond looking shape, right? The leaf is quite magnified, so what you're going to do is just increase its size a bit. Yeah, that's more like it. And then we're going to rotate it to around 45 degrees clockwise, and then afterwards you're going to position it at the stem of the apple. So we're going to drag it somewhere around here. As you can see, it's already taking the shape of the Apple logo. Quite impressive, right? So with that, you can basically see that we've taken a number of circles to create the whole Apple logo. From the body of the shape to the leaf, it's all about circles. So for our finishing step, you're going to just align the two features of the Apple logo at the center, to just ensure all of them are balanced. And you can still make adjustments if you need to, or if you see that something is off, so that the logo isn't quite large or quite small. And so let's first align both shapes, and what you're going to do is to select all of them and put them as a group. So what you're going to do is use the shortcut Ctrl G, and yes, you can see now all of them are now in one group. And so what you're going to do in our align panel here, you're going to align them at the center and vertically align them at the center, and as you can see, the logo is balanced, and ensure that the fill is black and there are no strokes or any white shapes. Now here's the challenge for this week. I want you guys to build your own version and then try changing the byte position and see what happens to how it feels. And drop your experiment in the comments below and tell me which Apple logo era is your favorite. Is it the rainbow, is it the aqua, or is it the flat? And I'll read the best answers in next week's video. And next week we are designing Safaricom, the Kenya's biggest brand. So subscribe, follow, and like so you don't miss the updates. See you next time.